All right, friends, we are going to go ahead and get started. First off, thank you for joining us and welcome to our May Down the Hill Leaders Meeting. This is our third set of meetings for our summer camp season. We have one more in June. Tonight we'll be going over various topics and we will be using the Q&A feature of the webinar. So if you have a question, please go ahead and drop it into that Q&A feature down at the bottom. And during the meeting, we may answer the question or we'll wait until the Q&A to answer the question, but we will go through all questions at the very end. So my name is Tori Harris, and I serve as the camp director of Lost Valley.
My name is Jacob Walker, and I am one of the assistant camp directors.
And my name is Bijan. I am the other assistant camp director. Joining us for summer camp, but not on this meeting, is Becca Daniels. She'll be serving as our program director.
Also joining us this summer would be Andrew Alvera, our ranger, Cassie Haydes, one of our assistant program directors. She's in charge of advancement program, and me, I am Kevin Newer. I'm in charge of specialty program.
Alrighty, so like Tori had previously said, we've had some meetings other months, and so tonight's meeting is going to cover a little bit about payment schedule and where you should be with that. We're going to talk about program and advancement, specifically theme days, and what adult programming is going to look like for our adults joining us in camp. We're going to talk about program registration and some specifics for you on that information. We will share campsite cooking, talk about your senior patrol leaders in camp, any service opportunities we'll be providing, and reminders that we think are important for you.
All right, so for our payment schedule, all units should be paid in full as of May 1st. So if you have not done so, please do so. If your kids have not registered for classes, that may be because they have not paid in full. So they cannot register for classes until they have paid in full. If for any reason you need to do any cancellations for an adult or a scout, you have up until June 1st, and all but $25 will be returned back to you. After June 1st, we've already bought the food, the program supplies, stocked the camp, and unfortunately, we cannot offer a refund. If for any reason you have a scout that cannot come to camp, maybe because of financial difficulty, please have them apply for a campership. We are accepting camperships until May 15th. We have 6 more days from tonight's meeting to do a campership. So if they need that, please have them do that. You can go to our website or follow that QR code for that campership. And then finally, if you need to adjust your numbers, maybe you have a new Cub Scout that's just joined your troop that needs to come into summer camp, we would love to have them. Please email us at summercamp@ssrlv.org. We will put you in touch with the reservations and get those kiddos or adults added as you need to for your reservation.
Alrighty, talking about registration. So that has already opened. Last Saturday program and non-advancement registration opened online. So you should be able to register your scouts for merit badge program and non-advancement program like ATVs and Camp Borrego. Like Tori had previously said, that's only available if you are paid up to the payment schedule, so paid in full. Good news, our official announcement to you that Lake Virginia is open this summer. We'll be offering kayaking and canoeing merit badges. A little bit about the wait list. So we had a great number of scouts already signed up for merit badges, and some of our sessions of some of our classes are already full. So we've enabled the waitlist feature for all of our classes. If you have a scout that wants to join something that's full, Blackpug will give you the option to add them to the waitlist. So go ahead and do that. Click Add to Waitlist. And then what you can do is you can fill that spot with a different merit badge. So find their second choice and put them in that class. If we are able to open more classes, if we are able to take kids off the waitlist and put them into their class preferred, the system will automatically move them into their waitlisted class and move them out of their second choice. And it will generate an email to you saying that the move took place. Please note that we are working on waitlists. We're going to work as a team to figure out what classes we can add more spots to and adjust numbers for. So we will let you know as soon as we can on if we're going to be able to do that. It's going to take us a little bit of time, so give us at least a week to figure that out and make some changes for you. But we want you to know that we're working on increasing those capacities. Some classes we do not have the ability to increase the cap for. So things that have a hard capacity limit, like shooting sports, and things like dirty jobs that has a specific cap for safety. Those may stay the same, but we're working on some alternates to be able to include your scouts that want to join. If you'll want to change any classes before summer camp, you are free to do that up until a week before camp starts. Once you are less than a week before camp starts, the system will lock any changes. And if you still need to make them when you get into camp, come talk to or find me, and I will help your scout make those changes if it's possible so we can get them into the classes they want. If it's not possible, I will help them find an alternate class that's open that they can take for that session. As a reminder, we are not using physical blue cards in camp this summer, so all of our advancement tracking will be done through BlackPug, you may know as 24/7 Scouting. That is where we will track all of our advancements, and it will be able to generate a report for you after camp on what merit badges your scouts earned. So they do not need to bring physical blue cards to camp.
A little bit more on BlackPug and 24/7 Scouting. So as we talked about, to update your numbers, you do need to email us. You cannot do that in your own registration. So email us at summercamp@ssrlv.org. If you have adults splitting the week, say you have an adult coming from Sunday to Wednesday and another adult coming in from Wednesday to Saturday, under the adults registration on BlackPug, if you click update information, one of the fillable spaces is this adult splitting the week, and you can put the second adult's name in there. So please do that if you have adults splitting. You do not need to register both adults as long as they leave and come on the same day. As Bijan talked about, merit badge signups and advancement signups will be open up until 1 week prior to your arrival at camp. For adults, we will be opening up adult programming, which are the classes to sign up for would be Introduction to Outdoor Leadership Skills, IOLS, Range Safety Officer Training, our RSO class, and then CPR. Those will open up on Saturday, May 18th for adults to register for. Also on BlackPug, under the update information, under each person, there is a section to add the t-shirt size for that scout or scouter. Please put in all t-shirt sizes by May 23rd so we can get those all ordered. Also under update information is any dietary restrictions or medical information that we need to know about the scouts and scouters. These are things like asthma, carries an EpiPen, has a CPAP machine. We want all that information on there so that as we are looking through our campers before they come to camp, we know how we can best serve them at camp. So please, please, please make sure all that information gets into BlackPug.
2024 program. ATV, we have a pre-camp video that we'll be emailing out to all of the participants for the class. Troop guides. We have many troop guides that will be helping your guys' troop when you guys get there. Campers Campfire. Troops should come up with a skit, a song, a cheer for campfire on Wednesday. It does need to be scouting appropriate, and the SBL should approve it and bring it to the SBL meeting that week. Guides can help you with any skits or songs that you guys need help with. Theme days. We have some theme days every day. Our staff dresses up in the mornings for all the theme days. You guys are welcome to do it all day. We have Masquerade Monday, Tie-Dye Tuesday, Wacky Wear Wednesday, Thoroughly Tired Thursday, Flashback Friday, and Silly Sock Saturday.
All right. So we've talked about campsite cooking at our first Down the Hill meeting, but I wanted to bring it back up as we are getting closer to camp So on Wednesday night, we will not be having evening flags, and the only evening program we will be doing is Campers Campfire. And Wednesday night is the night that your unit will prepare your own dinner and dessert. So to walk through those logistics, charcoal will be delivered earlier in the day, usually right after lunch. And we want you to start your charcoal early so that it is hot by the time y'all are ready to put the food on the charcoal. Your guide will come by and help you out, make sure you have all the right supplies, the charcoal is lit, kind of walk through with the SPL if they need more assistance of what they should be doing for their foil pack meal. We do have cooking directions online at our kitchen corner on our website with a how-to for the foil meal pack. So please make sure that you look over that. And I would also suggest that your SPL look over that as well so that they can support the rest of their scouts during that meal preparation. For campsite cooking, they will be getting a hamburger patty, potatoes, carrots, onions, bell pepper, foil, and seasonings. You are more than welcome to bring extra ingredients. If you have a special hot sauce you like to put on it, if you want to bring a Dutch oven to do a cobbler, anything like that, as long as you're still using charcoal, you are more than welcome to bring that. Often troops will bring a single patrol box to support the troops cooking, but we will provide those tools and seasonings for you. So you do not need to, but you are more than welcome to bring that patrol box.
Okay, and then we're going to talk a little bit about our SPLs and camps. So our leaders meeting thus far have been very focused on information that our adult leaders need to know to prepare their units for camp. But one of our most critical elements is helping prepare our SPLs for camp. So some context for all of you as adults about what we see our SPL's role is at camp is the first thing is like we have adult leader meetings every day. We will be having SPL meetings every day, Monday through Thursday. They will occur at lunch, and it'll be a brief check-in. We will do things like approving our campers' campfire skit, but we will also be talking about different issues that are that they may be facing throughout the week, as well as upcoming events throughout the week to help them stay informed and able to lead their troop through those activities. We will also be focused on troop duties during that. For all of you to know, we do ask that troops participate in some of our camp management and maintenance tasks throughout camp. Basic things like morning and evening flags, as well as some more intermediary tasks where supported by our staff assisting with some of our cleaning tasks in our common areas and things like that. So we will make a troop duty roster. We'll give that to all of you on Sunday when you arrive into camp, and we will be continuously checking in with both you as adult leaders, as well as with our SPLs throughout the week on those duties. Now, something that we ask of you, and we will remind you again at the end of the meeting, but we do ask that you invite your SPLs to our next Down the Hill leader meeting in June, because we'll have information like this that I just shared with you, but for them specifically as we get a little bit closer, so it's fresh in their mind as they're getting ready for camp. Yeah.
As we are thinking about camp, if you have any scouts or if you would like your unit to participate in service opportunities at camp, we will have them available to you. We'll have them for troops, patrols, and individuals. They can go to the nature center or hook up with our ranger to find a project. As well as general service projects, we will be able to offer conservation hours as well if your scouts need that for rank advancement. If you have a particular project that you would like to do to support our camp, please email us ahead of time at summercamp@ssrlv.org to talk through what that project could look like, what supplies may be needed, if we have the things up at camp, or if we need support by bringing those up into camp. And adults, if you have a special skill that you would like to share with the camp, please, please, please let us know so that we can say, hey, please help us with that and bring your tools, or we got you covered. So once again, email us at summercamp@ssrlv so that we can find those opportunities for you.
Okay, and then I'm going to be giving us just a few reminders. All of this is pulled from our leaders guide and then some other information on our adult leader section of our website. I just put the link to that in the chat as well. But just a few key things we really want to emphasize. First off, you are welcome to send mail to your scouts. If you do so, the information is on this slide, but for your reference and for you to be able to distribute to the parents of your unit, it is in our leader's guide, very clearly printed of what information you need to put there, as well as the timelines and how long it takes for mail to get into camp. Because of the mail route, it can take a little bit longer than just sending a message or sending a letter within Orange County. So with that being said, please reference that leader's guide and make sure that your families are well aware of that. Other thing that you can find on the leaders info section of our website are all the forms that are required for camp. Namely the medical form parts A, B, and C. As a reminder, that part C must be signed by one of the specific types of medical providers that are listed on it. For example, physicians, nurse practitioners, physician's assistants, etc. And it must be valid for the entire week that they're there in camp. So if it expires the day after they leave camp, that is fine. But it must be valid for the entire time that they're at camp. Other forms that are on there as well, ATV and shooting sports forms. Please make sure that if your scout is participating in those or may participate in those for the shooting sport one, that information is filled out. Another reminder that we like to give everybody is our road to adventure into camp. So as some of you may be aware, we do have a 10-mile dirt road into camp that is preceded by a 10-mile 2-lane paved road. And before that, depending on which direction you're coming from, longer than 10-mile 2-lane paved highway. So with that being said, it is important that we recognize that it does take a while to get into Lost Valley, and that Lost Valley does not have gasoline available or diesel available, and it does not have a place to charge electric vehicles. So with that, make sure that you have the appropriate fuel source in your vehicle and enough of it to both get into camp as well as back out again, because we will not have an opportunity for that once you've started heading down our dirt road. Last thing that we want to remind you about are bikes in camp. So again, the specific rules are outlined in both our, some of the information is in our packing list, and then all of the bike rules are outlined in our leader's guide. But it's really important that if you or your scouts are bringing bikes into camp, bicycles, that is completely fine. It's a great way to get around camp. But we do have some rules that must be followed. That includes that everyone who rides a bicycle in camp must be wearing a helmet. Even though California state law states that if you're 16 years of age or older, you do not need to wear a helmet, at the Schoepe Scout Reservation of Lost Valley, if you're on a bicycle, you are wearing a helmet and you're wearing it appropriately. And there are a couple other rules like that we do recommend you take a look at before everyone brings up their bikes, just so everyone brings everything they need to ride safely. On that note with bikes, we don't have bike rentals. In the past, a few years back, we have, but we do not have them available for this summer. So just to make that clear. We also don't have a place to properly repair bikes. We don't have the tools or the infrastructure for that. So please make sure that if your whole troop is bringing bikes, that you bring a small repair kit and the things that you might need to be successful in enabling that activity.
Alrighty, this about concludes our meeting for tonight. I'm going to share some of the future topics that we're going to be covering in our June meetings, and then we will take your questions. So if you have not already put any questions you have in the Q&A, please go ahead and do that while I'm talking. At our next meeting, we're going to talk more specifically about evening program, when it's going to be, what things are going to be offered, how your scouts sign up for that, and everything you need to know about evening program. I will tell you ahead of time, evening program will be signed up for in camp during your week of camp. So there's nothing ahead of time that your scouts need to sign up for. Nothing will be done online for evening program, but we will share that at a later meeting for you. We're going to give you some specifics on what tools and things will be in your campsite so you can know what to expect and what you may want to bring. We're going to talk a little bit about how checkout works so that your unit is prepared to do that. You can discuss with your adults that are going to be there and your adults that may need to pick up what time and how that's going to work. We're going to share a little bit about our emergency procedures, things that you might need to know ahead of time, We will share more specifics about that in camp, as well as SPL information. As Tori and Jacob referenced, we encourage you to invite your senior patrol leaders to our June meeting. That way they can take some ownership of some pre-planning for summer camp, as well as be ready to fulfill their role in camp. So we will talk specifically to them and what kinds of things we are looking for them during their week of camp. Our next meetings will be Sunday, June 2nd and Thursday, June 6th. Just like this and previous months, you only need to come to one. It will be the same information at both meetings. Once both meetings are concluded, we will post them online, as will we do that with this month's meetings, so that if you missed it, you want to re-reference it or share it with an adult, you're welcome to do that.
All right, so now we're going to go through the Q&A. I just saw a few pop in there. So if you have more questions, please add them to the Q&A. I'm going to start by reviewing previous questions that have already been asked during the meeting, and then we'll move forward with the other questions. So the question was, what were the 2 water lake mirror badges that were added? We added canoeing and kayaking. They are available online to sign up. Those are down at Lake Virginia. The other 2 aquatics merit badges that we offered or are offering are swimming and life-saving at the Grace Pool. We had a question about the roster. So an example roster or a sample roster import was sent out for you to do for your scouts. You do not need to put all of that information in if you do not want to. It's only the information that is required as part of the update information on 247scouting.org. That was just if you already have an Excel spreadsheet with that information, you could upload it onto Blackpug. We had a question about campsite cooking, if you need your patrol boxes or if you need mess kits. You do not need your patrol boxes. You do not need mess kits. If you would like those extra tools, extra seasonings, anything like that, we suggest bringing that, but you do not need to bring that if you would not like to. We had a question on waitlist for first year camper. So that is a place that we are looking to add more scouts to. It might also be an opportunity where we ask adults to go help be adult supervision during the week, just so that we can maintain good ratios of adult to youth, so that we are still putting on a quality program for your scouts. Is there a specific time on 5/18 that adult registration will open up? We are going to do 2 o'clock, same time as before. Keep it consistent, 2 p.m. on 5/18, adult classes will open up. We had a question about adding scouts. Will they get the full price if they're adding now, or will they get the discounted price? If your unit registered before the cutoff for the discount, then all of your scouts should be getting the discounted price. If for any reason that is not the case, please email us at summercamp@ssrlv.org, and we will work with reservations to make sure that the correct price is reflected on that payment. Question about blue cards being digital. How do we complete the prerequisite form? That is a great question. So on ssrlv.org, under leaders links, there is the prerequisite form. We ask that you send that with your scout if they have a prerequisite to finish, to give that over to the staff so that they can then finish their blue cards and check it off on their sign-in sheet. We had a question about swim tests. Are swim tests required if they don't plan on swimming or going to the lake? So swim tests are not required. We encourage everyone to do the swim test. And even if they don't do the swim test, we encourage them to go get a buddy tag, because they cannot be in the pool area and they cannot be in the lake area without a buddy tag. So even if you as an adult are going to take pictures and you're going to be on the pool deck or on the lakeshore, you need a buddy tag. We have, different classifications, but everyone needs a buddy tag. So everyone should be visiting the pool on Sunday to either take that swim test or get a buddy tag. We had a question about how are they getting to the lake? They are walking down to the lake. The lake is right next to our ATV course. It is a beautiful walk down to Lake Virginia. We do have that 30-minute passing period, so they have enough time to get down there. We just had a scout join at yesterday's Court of Honor. If they attend camp, is it too late for them to participate? Absolutely not. We would love to have them at camp. Bijan is really great about helping scouts get in the classes. As we said before, Becca and her program team are working on what we can do to accommodate more students or scouts off the wait list so that everybody's kind of getting their first and second choices for merit badges. We have a question about forms. We have a scout that can't do their med form until a week before camp. So their med form is valid for a year. So if they do their medical form on June 19th and they arrive at camp at June 23rd, it is valid, right? It is valid from June 19th, 2024 until the end of June 2025. So that is a-okay. We will then collect them on the first day of camp on Sunday. Our health officer will come and collect them. We had a question about types of bikes. Do they need mountain bikes or regular bikes? Okay, so we are all dirt all the time at Lost Valley. So we suggest mountain bikes. We have had cruisers up there, but our scouts and scouters will be more successful with mountain bikes. And then the next question was, when is the next Zoom meeting that SPLs should join? So that'll be June 2nd and June 6th. As soon as we post the recording of the May series of meetings, then we will also send out the registration link for those meetings in June 2nd and June 6th at 7 p.m. with your SPLs, please. If you have any other questions, please go ahead and put them in the Q&A. Thank you so much for asking these questions. We've had a lot of good questions this month that we want to make sure we are answering so that we can best support y'all at summer camp this year.
Also, we've said it lots of times, but you're free to email us at summercamp@ssrlv.org. All of our team gets that email, and then whoever the question is related to responds to that email. So we would be happy to answer any questions you have, little questions or big questions. If you need to schedule a phone call time with us, we can do that if that's easier for you. Please also side note, if we don't reply to your email, send us another one. Like I said, there are a lot of us responding to that box, so sometimes they get missed. We're not ignoring you, but we would be happy to get back to you.
Specific question on arts prereq. We're still looking into that because we're trying to figure out where the misinformation came. So we will get back to you on that one. And then we have another question about a scout joining on Monday morning. He is swimming in the afternoon. How does he get the swim test done? So we have an awesome aquatic instructor, Peter, and so we will be able to schedule a time to accommodate getting that swim test done. Maybe it's at the end of lunch, maybe it's right at the beginning of class, but we're lucky to have Peter and he will support as needed for that type of thing. If for any reason we have scouts that can't do their swim test on Sunday, but they want to go to open swim and they're not necessarily in a aquatics merit badge, then Monday afternoon we also use that as a backup time to do swim checks as well if needed. Question about camp chairs. So we have the campsites will have tables with benches in them. Some adult leaders, some scouts like to bring their own chairs. It's not required, but you're more than welcome to bring them. But the campsites do have tables with benches attached to them. Another question about camp gadgets. So we'll talk a little bit more specifically about campsites at our next meeting, but as part of our campsite inspection, we do ask for some sort of campsite improvement. Sometimes that's an archway, sometimes that's clearing a trail from the Kaibo to the campsite area. Sometimes it's creating a gadget. So if you would like to bring that to camp, we would love to see it. My favorite camp gadget is a weather rock. I don't do campsite inspections though, because I would give everybody a full score if they did that. But you are more than welcome to bring that to camp and bring those pioneering poles and all that kind of good stuff. Great question. We had a question about cots provided. Yes, so in the tents, it is 2 people per tent. 2 cots are in there. And then for our scouts, it is within 2 years of age should be paired together. So a 14-year-old with a 15-year-old, a 14-year-old cannot be with a 17-year-old. We have to maintain that 2 years. All right, so to start off, we had a question about adults splitting the week. So if you do have adults splitting the week, it is 1 adult fee. So if they come in Sunday through Wednesday and you have another adult coming Wednesday through Saturday, that is 1 single adult fee. We're not going to charge you twice because you have 2 adults splitting the week. So just please make sure that is under updated information in that adult link or in that adult's profile on Blackpug. We had a question about what is RSO. I apologize for using that acronym. Or RSO is Range Safety Officers. So this is an NRA training that you can go through at camp that we are offering. And it is one of the required trainings for a unit to be able to run shooting sports. They have to have an RSO with them. We had a question about the RSO schedule. So it is Monday through Thursdays in the afternoons. Our shooting sports director will be leading that training. And then we had a question about ATVs. So Becca linked the ATV website for them to go in and go through that online mini training before camp. We had a question about bringing food items for campsite cooking and cooking supplies. You're absolutely more than welcome to bring more campsite cooking food and supplies. We've had units that brought a whole different meal sometimes, or like a ton of extras in there. So you're more than welcome to do that if that is what your unit wants. And then we had a question about patrol boxes. So what that looks like is you are more than welcome to bring your own patrol box to camp. We do not give out patrol boxes. We give out foil. There's knives and cutting boards in there. So they have the utensils that they need to do campsite cooking if you weren't going to bring your patrol box, but you could if you wanted to, if it has extra supplies that could be helpful. Next we had a specific order for camper forms, adult forms versus kid forms, alpha order, all that kind of good stuff. And we prefer that our scouts and adults are separated, and then they are in alphabetical order by last name.
So what check-in is going to look like for your units is that your guide is going to lead you into your campsite, and either your guide or one of our adults is going to come into your campsite and do med rechecks with you. So we're going to have your scouts line up and come see us one at a time. My preference as health officer is to have your scouts hold on to each of their forms. If you have your forms all in a book and nice and ready to go, and you have your scouts lined up in that same order, that's just fine. But we're going to have to take the forms out of your little plastic cover if you have one and look through the form and see the scout at the same time. So my preference is to have the scouts hold their medical form, walk up to me, hand me the form, I look through it, and then I put it back in your binder or put it in my pile. And then we will keep your medical forms all week and return them to you on Friday. Also, your shooting sports forms are going to go with the scout to the ranges, and the ATV forms are going to go with your scout to the ATV course their first day. We will not be collecting your shooting sports form or your ATV form at check-in. Your scout will have to take that with them to the place that they need it.
All right, I'm going to jump back in. We had a question about for adults, EB 506 and youth protection cert. So we do not require seeing copies of those, but every adult must have those, and we can check on the back end. So it is required that they have it, but they do not need to bring a copy of those certs to camp with them. We had a question about bikes and if it was possible to rent them. Unfortunately, we do not have bikes available to rent this year. And then we had a question about our facilities, flush toilets versus pit toilets and cleaning supplies. So in the campsites, most of them are pit toilets, but all of the campsites are pretty close to our shower house, where we have toilets and showers, which are all flush toilets. And then for cleaning supplies, we will give you trash bags for the pit toilet. There's cleanser and a scrub brush. There's toilet paper available for you. So everything you need is all provided in camp. And then you'll work with the commissioners. If for some reason you need more of something, those commissioners will help you and get whatever supplies you need. And then the last question is, and I'm going to throw this one to Jacob, for campsite inspections, is this for fun or is there an award for this?
Yeah, it's a great question. There will be an award, but to be clear, it is for fun, right? The idea of the award is to encourage everyone to keep their campsite clean and to a part of the factor of our award for our campsites is looking at improvement as well. So it is not just about being perfect, it is about taking feedback and learning from it, right? So we tie that award system into the similar theory of awards throughout scouting. So there will be an award, and we will make sure you all have information on that for our initial Scoutmaster SPL meeting that happens Sunday night when you all arrive. We give you a packet when you first arrive to camp that gives you information on all of these things that you should be paying attention to throughout the week.
Okay, and we had a question about campsite selection. So if you have a campsite that you want to be in, we have a tentative assignment for everyone, but if you have an assigned or a campsite that you would like to be in, please email summercamp@ssrlv in the next day, because we are ready to release those, but we want to make sure that our initial campsite selections for everyone still fit units, because we've had some growth in units, which is great. So if you have a particular campsite that you want, we are trying to do our best to get everyone the campsite that they want, but there are sometimes with sizes and all that kind of good stuff that we haven't been able to get everybody into their first choice. But if you do have a campsite that you would like to be in, please, please, please email summercamp@ssrlv.com. I'm watching the Q&A. I'm not seeing anything. So I think at this point we are going to call it. I want to thank you all for your questions and thank you for joining us. We are so excited to have you at Lost Valley this summer, and we will see you at our next meeting, June 2nd or June 6th. Thanks, y'all, and we'll see you soon.